And we are back. And again, I'm Rabbi Peter Hyman. You're seated at the Rabbi's Roundtable, coming to you from the studios of MCTV in the Avalon Theater. And my next guest, is Bill Shreves. And Bill is president of the Bay 100 Community Volunteers. Bill, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let's get started. Well, the Bay 100 Community Volunteers is founded on the principle of neighbors helping neighbors. It was founded in 1999 to address a specific need for a small community in Sherwood, Maryland, and it has grown, and you've expanded it.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us a little about yourself, and then we'll ask some questions.
Certainly. My wife, Jean, and I have lived on the Eastern Shore since 1999. Actually, we grew up on the Virginia part of the Eastern Shore. We're in high school together, and we're high school sweethearts.
Nice.
Then I worked for AT&T, so we lived a lot of different places. AT&T has a tendency to move you around a bit. So when we got ready to retire from AT&T, we wanted to come back to the Eastern Shore.
Sure.
And this was the kind of area we wanted to come into.
Good.
And immediately we started getting involved with community service activities. And actually we also started a company here called Comfort Keepers, which is a senior home care company.
Yeah.
So that got us even more engaged with the senior population in Talbot County particularly.
So what services does Bay 100 Community provide then?
As you mentioned, we started in 1999. So we're in a way a well-kept secret, but we were that intentionally because we were a neighbors helping neighbors sort of an organization. After we finished the work we did down in Sherwood, we began expanding out into the other parts of the shore, but the name came from the fact that we started in the Bay 100 area. By 2 or 3 years, we had become a 501c3 nonprofit and started providing services all over Talbot County, anywhere in Talbot County. Home repairs.
I was going to ask what.
And wheelchair ramps, mainly.
Oh, okay.
So home repairs, anything that it takes to help a person remain safe in their home longer.
Oh,
so maybe it's just a grab bar in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all it takes for them to be able to stay at home. A new rail on a set of steps, a new set of steps, or a wheelchair ramp.
Wow. So how does somebody get a hold of you? How do they find out about you? Do you have a website, a phone number?
Yes, we have a website and phone number, and hopefully we'll put that up, and you can see that as well.
You want to share it with us now, and we'll
sure. Our website is bhcv.org.
bhcv.org.
Yeah, Bay100communityvolunteers.org.
Okay.
So you can go there and find out about us. You can also call 410-745-9243 to talk to us. Most of our referrals for a long time have come from the Talbot Health Department, from the community home nurse that's typically visiting clients in the home and see a need for something. So that's where our referrals have come from, although more of our referrals now are coming through the website or directly to our phone number, because people are starting to recognize us.
And again, who's eligible for these services?
So we are a financial needs organization. We are a nonprofit, all volunteer, so we have no paid staff, so most of the funds we collect go directly to the programs we run. We use the HUD income limit guidelines to determine eligibility. So many of our clients are elderly, females, usually living on Social Security, in their home, maybe making $1,200, $1,500 a month in Social Security, can barely pay the bills, let alone fix a leaky roof or put in a wheelchair ramp if they need one. So just as an example, an individual living alone at home, the HUD guidelines are $3,000 a month or less. So we obviously that catches most of the people who are living on Social Security.
Wow.
So that's, and our process is simple.
Yeah.
And we have a simple intake process. Somebody calls us, goes to our website, we go out and do an intake, and it's a very simple process. Some organizations have fairly complicated processes
Yes.
for this, we don't.
And how many volunteers do you have?
We actually have about 30 now, which is
Wow.
wonderful. In the last 2 years, our volunteer have about doubled.
That's terrific. That's really cool. What are the biggest challenges that you're facing? I suspect monetary is certainly one of them, but what else?
Well, with any nonprofit, a small nonprofit, I think, there's really two areas, maybe three. There's two. There's volunteers, finding enough people to do the work.
Yeah.
And at 30, we still don't have enough.
Right.
The need is growing all the time.
Exponentially, I would imagine.
Exponentially. I mean, last year we did 45 projects, 19 home repair projects, and we installed 27 wheelchair ramps.
Wow.
So that's significantly higher than it was a year before. So volunteers, I would say volunteers. And they don't have to be people who can turn wrenches or swing
Right.
hammers. We have other needs in the operations of the business or the organization, administrative things, fundraising, as you pointed out.
Yeah, sure.
So that I want to say is the biggest challenge. And the second is what you pointed out, funds.
Yeah.
Having enough money. We know when we started the modular aluminum wheelchair ramp program, first, we used to build wooden wheelchair ramps. And would build 2 or 3 a year. That's how much resources we had. And about 4 years ago, we started doing modular aluminum ramps. They're fully ADA compliant, much less resource intensive. They're temporary, so there's not a permitting process to be concerned about.
Oh, good.
This week, we installed a ramp yesterday for a resident of St. Mark's Village. We did it in 19 days from getting the referral
Wow.
to putting the ramp in. And putting the ramp in took about 2 hours, start to finish.
What's the cost, I mean, roughly, what's the cost of putting in a ramp?
They vary based on the length of the ramp,
Okay.
but there's another component. Our process is we provide the ramps at no cost to the person who qualifies.
Oh, okay.
So it's no cost at all for them, as long as they need the ramp. And when they no longer need the ramp, we go back and get it and reconfigure it for somebody else. This year we've installed 4 ramps at this point in time, and we've recovered 1.
Okay.
So the process, that's how the process works for us. And you asked about the cost. Last year, the average cost of a ramp was $2,700.
Wow.
That was driven by the length of the ramp and whether we have recovered materials to use to reduce the cost.
Right. And if somebody wants to donate, just go to the website or
Yeah,
call?
that would be great. And if you'd like to volunteer to be a volunteer, we would love to have you go to the website. There's a section on the website called Support Us, and it's about funds, and it's also about supporting us by volunteer.
Well, it sounds like you're busy, there's no question about that. And then the need is profound.
And I would not have believed that the need for wheelchair ramps would be what it is. We thought when we started 4 years ago that we'd get to about 35 or 40 ramps out there, and then the churn would pretty much take care of needed materials. That hasn't happened. I believe we will probably install 30 ramps this year, and I'm not sure we're addressing all the need then.
Wow.
There might be more.
There probably is, you're right. You're right. Well, Bill, thank you for being here and sharing this information about what I think is, when we first met, I was impressed and moved by this, the Bay 100 Community Volunteers Program. You do a great service and an important service, and we're grateful for what you and the volunteers do. So thank you for being at the Rabbi's Roundtable.
Thank you for having me.
And there's more to come. We'll have you back when you want to. Let me know when you want to share some more information. It's important.
Okay, thank you.
And Easton, you've been seated at the Rabbi's Roundtable for an interesting and delightful and informative session, and I appreciate the staff and at the television station MCTV and at the Avalon Theater. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Rabbi's Roundtable.